First impression when you all first met each other?
When I first saw V and J-Hope, I couldn't see them because they were too black.
And try to speak to yourself in English. Okay. All the time.
What's up, bro? What's up?
Play your own race.
마음에 안 들어. Who that? 자꾸 우리 주인공이 이렇게 말하는 건 마음에 안 들어. Who that?
한국인 피가 흘러 절대 안 굽혀맨 it's in my DNA.
You are from Korea!
I wanted to make a video about racism in K-pop when the Kiss of Life incident happened, but I was literally like, what is the rush? Give it a month or two and there will be something else to talk about. And alas, if you can get on a live broadcast and perpetuate racial stereotypes for over an hour with your whole chest, you can hop on another live and vocally say you're sorry and own up to your harmful and racist actions. Sadly, the extent of learning about Black history and Black people's contribution to the world, for most people, is to disprove and delegitimize it. They're not looking for understanding or connection. Just enough plausible deniability to profit off of Black culture without being called racist. I mean, I'm Black and I don't see a problem with insert racist behavior here. You think the racist people are waiting around for your permission? They do not respect or care about what you think in the slightest. They truly couldn't care less. And let's be real, without the controversy or Black aesthetics, what do most of these Blackaboos have going for them? It's time! Welcome or welcome back to Lonnie's Lens, my little corner of the internet where I talk about film, TV, pop culture, and literally whatever else is on my mind. Due to popular demand, I am back with a K-pop video. I would consider this part 2 to the Culture Vulture video I did back in May, so check that out if you haven't already. My latest video was an exploration of whimsical Black women in the music scene today, so go ahead and add that to your queue as well if you're in need of any recommendations. If you'd like to keep up with me outside of YouTube, all of my socials will be linked down in the description below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And with that, let's get into today's very, very important video. Disclaimer up top. I'm going to be sprinkling clips and photos for your reference, but I am not here to prove that there is racism, anti-Blackness, or appropriation in K-pop. It's a well-documented fact. To quote one of my favorite creators on this platform, Kenny JD, people really do be around the world 옷처럼 흑인 문화를 입고, 벗고, and then go be racist. This is nothing new. There are several videos compiling these examples and you can search for them yourself. Instead, I want to talk about how we got here, why we're stuck here, and how we can move forward. But I will be going in depth and giving my unfiltered, unpopular opinions about different K-pop idols and groups behind the paywall on my Patreon because I'm not trying to get jumped by pubescent K-poppies. I'm not doing it, not today. Not doing it. Hey guys, it's editing Kaylani here, a bit earlier than expected. This is actually the clean version of the video that I had to edit down because the amount of slurs from these idols was excessive to say the very least, and I wouldn't be able to monetize the original version. The original director's cut will be available on my Patreon for my $3 tier patrons and up to enjoy ad-free. It's the version that I wanted you all to see, but YouTube's monetization policy had other plans. So as usual, my Venmo, Cash App, and Patreon will be in the description if you're able to support me. These videos take a lot of time, effort, and care, so I'd appreciate you doing whatever you can. But with that, please enjoy the video. This is a really good one. And I'm very proud of it, even if it's not the version that I intended to go out. I've never been that big of a K-pop fan. My mom would definitely say otherwise, but I really don't think I am, at least relative to the rest of the fandom. I've only bought maybe 5 albums. I have 1 light stick. I've been to 7 or 8 concerts over the past 10 years. I minored in Korean after studying on my own for years to better understand the language of the media I was consuming daily. I even studied abroad in South Korea at Yonsei University last year. And although that may sound like hardcore fan behavior to the locals, in K-pop, it's nothing. It's not uncommon for your average K-pop fan to have shelves full of K-pop albums, binders filled with photo cards, and wall-to-wall posters of their favorite group. It's normal to buy upwards of 20 copies of the same album to earn a spot in a 30-second fan sign with the group. The most outrageous example I've seen was a TikTok I found of a fan removing her shrine to Moon Tae-il of NCT after learning of his allegations involving sex crimes. The video shows the fan removing several photos of the idol to a sad instrumental, including multiple framed photos of the idol in her hallway, like he was her grandson and those were his graduation photos. Very odd. Check out my other video on K-pop and parasocial relationships. But back to me. Funnily enough, I discovered K-pop through a 2013 Fine Brothers production titled YouTubers React to K-pop. I remember laughing at what was painted at the foreign and absurd and adopting the sardonic and ironic attitude that was modeled by the YouTubers reacting, and that was also expected of me at 12 years old. But
It's like ridiculous. But I like it.
and I liked it too, but I didn't realize how much I liked it. Starting with GOT7's Daktoa, or Just Right in English, arguably one of the K-popiest videos to ever K-pop, I was hooked. Quickly falling down the rabbit hole of K-pop, finding my ultimate bias groups in VIX, NCT Dream, and now Rise. I hate to admit it, but I am an SM stan through and through. Lock me up. Guilty as charged. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know it at the time because I was just a kid.
You think you're tough and shit. You're just a little fucking kid.
But K-pop spoke to something inside me. It gave me an outlet to explore my love for camp, theatrics, performance, and art as a whole that I didn't see in the Western music scene. And in some ways, even queerness before I found Drag Race. I have and always will have a deep love for K-pop for helping me discover who I was, while also getting to appreciate art from immensely talented dancers, singers, and performers who I admired for their dedication to their craft. But the nostalgia I've found in making this video is bittersweet. While writing the script for this video, a core memory from 7th grade was looming over my head. Imagine me, 12 years old, obnoxiously and exhaustively obsessing over NCT's latest comeback with a friend, as 12-year-olds do.
When all of a sudden, I hear this agitating, grating voice.
My biggest op and bully at the time said 3 words that stopped me dead in my tracks. Kehlani, you're black. As if it was a magic spell. Why am I so corny? Are you guys fucking with the shirt? You guys like the craft? As if it was a magic spell to end my bliss and enjoyment of a genre of music. On its face, and my face, it's a fact. I am black. But she knew, and I knew, her words meant so much more. She was pointing out my blackness as a way to discourage me from liking K-pop. Now, did it work? Obviously not. It's different now, but back in 2014, being a K-pop fan was not for the weak. So I had already built a pretty solid backbone. Thankfully, I also have really supportive parents who encourage my interests, but I've also never been one to take much heed to a loser's input on what brings me joy, and I never will. However, the othering, as it was meant to, deeply hurt me, but it's also true. I am black, and what does that mean about my fandom? It's worth noting that she didn't say anything to my white friend who was fangirling right alongside me. In that moment, blackness was being held over my head. It was a reminder that with everything in my life, my human experience comes with a lot more caution than those around me. Something as simple as liking a genre of music came with a lot more baggage, simply because I was black. And we're gonna be unpacking all of that baggage today. So, strap in, everyone. I know not everyone watching this will have a basic understanding of K-pop, and if you do, it's likely been sensationalized, so I'd like to take the time to educate you and make very clear what K-pop is, but also what it isn't. K-pop is weird, and K-pop fandom is even weirder, so I don't necessarily blame the locals for their initial reactions about it. While it's perhaps instinctual to other or dramatize what's foreign to you, I want to address and dispel these misconceptions, not just out of frustration, but because these mischaracterizations are distractions that deflect from the industry's very real problems. First, there's this emphasis on plastic surgery and beauty standards as unique to K-pop or Korean society. While beauty culture is indeed significant in Korea, portraying cosmetic procedures as exponentially more prevalent there than other places in the world is disingenuous. The US, especially in the early 2000s, normalized nose jobs as Sweet 16 gifts and breast implants as graduation presents. We still normalize lip fillers, veneers, and countless other enhancements in the West, but under the guise of discreetness. Look at the cast of Love Island. Look at the man y'all elected president and his right-hand man, Elon Musk. Then there's the perception of K-pop training periods as uniquely exploitative. These critiques aren't entirely wrong. Restrictive dieting, grueling schedules, unpaid labor that accumulates as trainee debt, and the psychological pressure are genuine issues that need addressing. But again, this system closely resembles the artist development programs that Western labels used to do, but have largely abandoned to cut costs and avoid investing in their talent. Hey guys, it's Editing Kehlani here. I didn't go in depth about the artist development aspect, but I realize that most people aren't actually familiar with its origins that began in Motown. So Motown was a record label in the 1960s that launched black musical legends like the Supremes, the Temptations, and the Jackson 5, which some consider to be the first versions of modern boy and girl groups that we see today. The label had a personal development department that was dedicated to training artists in how to, quote, walk, talk, think, and act like royalty. We can see how this process has been replicated in the K-pop industry. I also wanted to share this TikTok showing that the photo cards and merch culture we see in K-pop today started with black Motown legends back in the 1960s. It's fascinating.
What if I told you that K-pop albums weren't the first to include collectible memorabilia, like photo cards, and that this had already been done decades ago in the 60s and 70s by Motown Records? I found evidence of this weekend when I was cataloging my dad's cassette tape collection, and came across this gem, Diana Ross and the Supremes, the 25th anniversary double cassette tape. I opened it expecting to find music, but lo and behold, look at these beautiful photo cards, high quality, glossy, of Diana Ross and the Supremes. Something I would have expected to find in a collector's edition in today's album market. These ones are all double-sided, so there's 2 pictures on each photo card. I will put them on the screen here so you can see each and every single one of them. And this was such a treat to know, like, oh my gosh, this is where it all comes from. K-pop fans know the thrill of opening an album, seeing the photo cards. It's a huge part of the allure and why people still buy physical albums today, even though a majority of people don't even own a CD player, right? But it's the concept, making the album more than just the physical product and an experience. And Motown already, was the blueprint and had been doing this since the 60s. Motown and a lot of black artists from the 60s to the 80s understood fan engagement before it even became a marketing term. They didn't just sell music, they sold the entire experience. That meant visuals, branding, exclusivity. Things that K-pop does so well today, Motown pioneered in the 60s. Think about it, right? Motown artists weren't trained in stage presence only, they were also trained in fashion, in their public image and how they presented themselves to the outside world. They were not just singers. Each and every single artist that went through the Motown method was an icon in their own right. Collecting their images, whether through posters, magazines, or in this case, photo cards, was something that all the fans wanted to do back then because it made them feel closer to their idol.
From NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys being cheated by their management, to TLC filing for bankruptcy despite multi-platinum success, to Chappell Roan's recent Grammy speech about industry exploitation. Artist mistreatment is a global norm. The West really loves to sensationalize and assume foreign customs are so extreme and barbaric, while doing the exact same thing. The othering isn't just unfair, it's counterproductive. We miss the more insidious issues that are hiding in plain sight. It just tickles me how non-K-pop fans view and talk about training periods in K-pop, because like I said, it's mostly just a more concentrated artist in development, but with the odd requirements of masterfully learning how to appropriate Black culture and saying the N-word for absolutely no reason. I mean, the reason is the commodification and performance of Blackness, which we will get into, but it's not a very good reason. And my question has always been, for all the intense training that they do, they can't fit a racial or cultural sensitivity course in the mix, right? But I digress. Like the other misconceptions I pointed out, it's important to recognize that anti-Blackness in K-pop builds on foundations laid by white supremacist beauty standards, anti-Blackness, and cultural appropriation that originated in the West and continues here today. Look at Justin Bieber, Billie Eilish, Miley Cyrus, Alabama Barker, Bad Baby, Iggy Azalea, Jack Harlow, and Ariana Grande. The list of Western culture vultures who exploit Blackness as a phase is endless. The real issue isn't that K-pop is uniquely problematic in this regard. It's that these global industries share the same foundational problems, and sensationalizing the Korean context prevents us from addressing the root causes that have no national boundaries. But that doesn't mean I won't hold the industry's foot to the fire. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to get through. Now that we're on the same page about what K-pop is and how it's not much different from the global industry at large, let's get into the meat of the video and why you're all here. Like I said, anti-Blackness, racism, and appropriation isn't unique to K-pop, but I'm making this video because it's where I've dedicated my time as a fan and have an intimate understanding of the industry and the fandom. The blatant racism and anti-Blackness once seemed like an unfortunate byproduct of K-pop, but as I've gotten older, I realized it's baked into the industry. And I finally understand why it feels so different now than it did when I first became a fan. A creator on TikTok talked about how consumerism and late-stage capitalism has led everyday people to start buying items to signify that they are a part of a culture or aesthetic without actually being a part of it. Contrast this to back in the day, where the reason most people had similar items and styles within a community was because it was a reflection of their shared values and the circumstances they were in. But now it's as simple as scrolling through your For You page or Pinterest to buy an item that will instantly identify you as part of this culture without doing any of the self-discovery or immersion that would organically